Welcome, everyone. I'm Tracy Fitzpatrick, and I'll be your moderator today. Thank you so much for joining us here at Netcom Learning, a market leader in promoting lifelong learning, training, and talent development solutions. We are very excited to host today's event, Microsoft AI for Business Leaders Masterclass. Presenting today's topic is Gino Joseph. Gino is a Microsoft certified trainer with over 6 years of experience in the technical field. Gino's expertise is in Microsoft Azure, Power Platform, and data science technologies. He has successfully delivered numerous corporate trainings to date and consulting consignments for various clients across the globe. Please bear in mind that this is an overview of a very robust topic. We offer a collection of technical and business courses that can be tailored to your specific requirements. If you are interested in a further discussion, you can make an appointment with our learning consultants through our website at netcomlearning.com. Today's session is also being recorded, so you'll get free access to the recording in the next 24 hours via email. Netcom Learning helps customers build innovative learning organizations by achieving a smarter workforce, adapting to change, and driving growth. We do this with a broad catalog of offerings, developing customized learning plans, and our global delivery capabilities. Since 1998, we have been empowering organizations with our managed learning services to help them reach optimal performance results and address challenges. We do have 9 practice areas in which we specialize. They encompass people, process, and technology training. Today's presentation is from the Data and AI practice area. Netcom Learning offers a comprehensive training portfolio of courses for the topic being covered today. Our upcoming classes include various trainings on the given courses. You can also access a variety of marketing assets, such as the free training and blogs, by clicking on the available event handout. These offerings can be found with a simple search on our website at netcomlearning.com. Today's session will cover insights into cutting-edge strategies for protecting AI systems and mastering the latest strategies in AI security, cutting-edge AI technologies to enhance strategic decision-making. This masterclass has been designed with best practices to provide you experience with Microsoft AI tools and frameworks that are reshaping the future of business. In addition, participants will get guidance on effectively preparing for the AI 3017, MS 4004, and AI 102 certification course and exam in today's session. And now I would like to give you a quick overview of the logistics before we get started. To begin with, you do have the option to view in full screen by clicking on the full screen button on the right side of the GoToWebinar viewer. Simply hit the escape key to exit the full screen. Everyone has been muted except for our presenters. Feel free to submit any questions you have for the presenters here in the questions pane, and we will address them at the end of the session. And to get the best out of today's events, we've included the slides, courses we talk about, and marketing assets in the handouts section of your GoToWebinar viewer. You may refer to them at any time to get a better understanding of today's topic. And we do realize that some of you may have to leave early and want to let you know that as you do leave the session today, you will be presented with a short survey. We would like to request for you to take a quick moment to participate in that survey. Your feedback really helps us understand your learning experience and improve our future sessions for you. The survey answers are measured on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 representing outstanding and 1 representing poor. And now I'd like to pass this over to our trainer to present today's topic. Hey, Gino, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, hello everyone. Myself, Gino Joseph. I am a Microsoft certified trainer. I come with 8 years of experience into the domain of training here belonging to Netcom, working in the capacity of a technical trainer, predominantly dealing with the AI verticals with respect to Microsoft technologies. Let's quickly get started into today's session. Right, maybe I'll give you some initial walkthroughs of maybe a bit of introduction of what the session looks like. So hold on to your seats. We'll really discuss about the capabilities of artificial intelligence or its offerings from the Microsoft side for business leaders for that matter. So today in our session, we will, in this particular agenda, right, it's very crisp. It's gonna be very interesting to discuss certain facets because everybody really loves to have discussions regarding artificial intelligence and its capabilities. Of course, on the technical front, definitely there is a lot of interest. There is a lot of, say, investigation that organizations put into. But also on the other part, right, we ought to discuss about, say, from the implementation side, from the perspective of leaders, how particularly AI can be helpful in the business context or scenarios that we ought to consider. So we're going to get started with respect to understanding, say, maybe some initial introduction on AI, definitely. And then I'm going to spend some time on the strategic impact when it comes to business transformations, especially with respect to that digitization and the processes around. And then we will see that how particularly we can implement AI in particular businesses. All right, we are not gonna point towards a single business case, but definitely some interesting facets, all right, to really get started. If you're a business leader, really you are trying to locate and identify how particularly you can integrate AI as a part of your business solution. This is going to be really be beneficial for that matter. And then we will talk about, see, some of ways via which you can build different co-pilots. So if you are someone who is very much familiar with the Microsoft, say, offerings, Copilot is very much, say, uh, a very crucial, definitely a solution, a tool that is available, again, integrated within your N365. But of course, on the other front, you have these co-pilots that can be created, custom co-pilots that can be created, where, of course, to deliver specific business solutions or business tasks, you can integrate artificial intelligence with respect to those co-pilots and start to work upon that. And then we will really talk about, see, some of the innovative strategies, okay, that helps you to, say, have enhanced growth in artificial intelligence, okay, with respect to artificial intelligence, because again, strategizing, adopting the right methodology, the right processes is very much important. So again, we don't won't be able to extensively discuss all of the facets here, right? It's a master class that we have right here. So within the 2 hours or maybe within the 90 minutes that we have in on, or yeah. So we'll identify some of the innovative strategies to drive growth in AI. And of course, if there are some questions, right, that needs to be addressed, we will really take that into account and try to address your questions and concerns as such around it. And what can be the next probable steps? Maybe if you are trying to upskill, if you really want to understand what can be the next steps with respect to maybe taking up courses or maybe see to address your areas of concerns in terms of upskilling, right? Especially with respect to the potential AI offerings. Definitely, we'll discuss some time around that. We'll set aside some time for that. So let's take things further ahead, all right, and let's try to discuss about the impact of business transformations. But I would really love to get started discussing about artificial intelligence. I'm pretty much sure, okay, all of you have a very much a fair understanding of what artificial intelligence is. Okay, I'm pretty sure you all have seen, have heard, and you are the reason why you are attending this particular session is to really understand how particularly you can leverage the capabilities of artificial intelligence into your business processes. So the question arises, what is AI? Let me try to give you a very basic, say, explanation, definition that tries to address what AI is all about. maybe some, like maybe most of you would have been using some of these solutions that has already started to integrate AI for that matter. So migrating from the typical traditional systems, okay, which was being programmed to accept certain inputs and perform or maybe say generate some kind of an output, all right, based upon a specific logic, calculations and computations as such around there. um, maybe some 6, 7 decades back, maybe see earlier, dating back to all the 1950s and so on. So you would see that there was a need, of course, they went to research very specifically, where you wanted systems that have the capabilities or that tries to mimic human behaviors, right? And if you would have seen that, maybe the way the pattern in which our human brains perform or work, right? Maybe say when you see a certain thing, maybe whenever you want to communicate back to a person as such, there is definitely an intelligence key that has been that where a person develops okay over his age, maybe say with the experiences and the kind of involvements he gets into. So if we can definitely develop or we can enable computer systems to be programmed in such a way that they can mimic these kind of behavior, all right, specific in the context of executing certain tasks. And that's where the concept of AI arises, really, it should be matter. So, for example, maybe you would have seen systems, computers, all right, they have the capabilities nowadays to really capture images, and when they capture the images they really make sense out of it, right? For example, when you look at an image of an elephant, right, or maybe say whenever you look at, say, maybe you assign an image of a skyscraper, it really recognizes what is being represented in the context of that particular image for the matter being. Or maybe in certain scenarios, that's what we technically call as computer vision capabilities for that matter. Or maybe you want to classify, maybe you want to detect, maybe face recognition, maybe say attribute retrievals that are there, or maybe say even say as how we human beings are capable to uh, say make use of speech, right? In our natural languages, whether it's Spanish, English, and so on. So you have the capability of recognition that is possible. Okay, so computer systems nowadays they can accept these inputs via maybe some recorded files, maybe via some microphones, and definitely put that into say processing or maybe certain actions as such around there. Then you have say computer systems that can do decision making. All right, say when I say decision making, maybe say it on behalf of you, right? Again, with completely ensuring that the system is transparent, it can take decisions on your behalf for the matter. For example, maybe when we talk about an autonomous vehicle, right? And that is what a self-driving car, and you decide to drive on that car, and maybe you are cruising through the highway, and maybe suddenly you see a particular car that see surpasses you, and definitely maybe for some reasons, maybe when the car or the sensors placed within it detects that maybe there is a possibility of a collision, definitely the car or maybe the system within that self-driving car is going to apply some kind of a brake. Okay, it's a decision making coming into role play. Maybe certain transactions, all right, and so on. So maybe natural language understanding, for example, maybe to understand the language, maybe the sentiment, maybe understanding the key talking points, and so on. So you will see that AI really is trying to mimic one or more, say, human capabilities or behaviors through intelligence for that matter. And what really powers all these AI, all right, AI solutions that we talk about is definitely that of the data. All right. So it's not a technology of itself, but rather it's very specifically the goal is by that of very specifically to imitate human intelligence for that matter. So with AI, depending upon the kind of intelligence that needs to be say placed very particularly, you will see that it really brings in a lot of value in that context for that matter being. Because as it tries to imitate different intelligences, depending upon the type of data, the input that we're going to be fed with, it tries to very specifically work along the lines to achieve the end goal that we have in. Whereas you, of course, I'm pretty much sure you would have heard about Gen AI, or what we call it as the generative AI, or maybe say I must say the tools like say ChatGPT, Gemini, Cloud, and so on and so forth. So Gen AI, it's a subset, very honestly. Okay, AI is very much a wider domain. There are other further facets which I'll discuss in the next few one more slide, so that will give you a real understanding. But Gen AI is more of a subset of your artificial intelligence. So when you are using AI, maybe you are trying to see that maybe what is that an image, or right, what is the language, maybe see what is that particular person talking about. Okay, well, does he mean to talk about London? Maybe does he sound very much positive? Does he sound happy? Maybe sad, and so on, so for that matter. So it's more of predictions, detections, classifications, and so on, so that what AI enables you to. But with Gen AI, we are as the name suggests, Gen AI, that is generative AI. All right. With Gen AI, we are trying to build solutions, um, which really helps in generation of content, whether it is image, whether it is video, whether it is text, and so on, so for that matter. So the goal here in this case is that, okay, again, um, whenever you're using these Gen AI solutions, we are looking for having solutions, or maybe say content that can be really be useful, okay, for any particular scenario that you want to deploy upon, as maybe that being created by a human being for that matter. And that is very much possible because these Gen AI solutions are really powered, right, by that of the underlying LLMs, which we call as the large language models. Okay, large speaks about the context, all right, how quantified it is, all right. See, in terms of maybe the volume of data that upon which it's been trained. Language stands for specific capabilities, all right. So when I say language, maybe it's about say understanding your natural language inputs and performing subsequent action. So that's maybe about to perform translation, transcriptions, and so on. So, and models are nothing but they are say that which have been very particularly you created in such a way where it has captured the relationships of the data and uses that logic, or maybe say uses that semantic say structure to generate responses for that matter. So LLMs in your Gen AI solutions, okay, are nothing but complex AI models where you can use them for a large, broad use cases for that matter. So maybe if you are really trying to generate some kind of a code, maybe you want to create some images, maybe if you have some follow-up questions, maybe you would have done that, okay, within your team meetings for that matter. Maybe you're looking for some kind of an explanation, maybe for generating summaries, all right. Or maybe even if you can give a text-based description, you can definitely have what videos generated from these Gen AI solutions. Because again, they sit upon large volumes of data, contextually understanding, again, a symbiotic relationship in terms of what the input and what can possibly be generated is identified as we carefully work with respect to these LLMs for that matter. So AI on the higher level is more, see, as that way the mimicking the capability happens to be. So what derives from AI is the Gen AI, which is a subset, and definitely say tries to generate content in specific scenarios. Again, what kind of an output that you want about as you try to apply natural language inputs for that matter. So again, when we talk about say these AI, all right, there are some few more aspects that we need to do, okay, because often, I'm pretty much sure you would be bombarded with these terminologies, and we try to please all of these same aspects and terminologies under one hood. Let me be very clear about that. Since we have identified what Gen AI stands for, we understood what generally on a broader perspective what artificial intelligence stands for. Let's also try to identify some few things that you will really come across in your day-to-day task, all right, or maybe say as you really try to explore the capabilities and potential of artificial intelligence. Number one is data science, all right. It's a very honestly a very what do you call um, a field very specifically that integrates a lot. Okay, a field that integrates a lot of, potential tools, aspects, concepts, and so on, so for that matter. And the very one focus with respect to data science is that to understand what does happen, what happens in its science, or when we talk about a data scientist, it's always about experimentation. All right. So what data science really does is that it identifies certain techniques, certain tools, certain strategies, certain methodologies where, all right, you will be able to say identify or create experimental models in that case for that matter. So that's where uh, in when you are a data scientist, you're not going to be stay specific to a certain tool because there are a lot of aspects you should be having that capability of working with mathematics, maybe machine learning models. You must be able to use statistics in terms of establishing the correlations. Okay, programming would be required to some extent for that matter, and so on, so for that matter. And of course, some business acumen definitely will be really be beneficial. So, with respect to data science, all right, okay, they are the experts, okay, when it comes to solving AI problems. They would be the experts when it comes to solving these AI problems for that matter. Whereas you have a sub layer to that, which is machine learning. Again, that derives from that of data science. Data science is very much broader. Okay, so what machine learning does, as the name suggests, it's the process of putting your machines to learn. All right. So what happens with machine learning is that in your machine learning, your machine is gonna sift through a numerous amounts of data. All right. And very interestingly, it will identify what is the patterns in the data. Okay. So the trends, the analysis, the patterns, all are going to be identified by machine learning. So again, this is the technique that will be used for your AI purposes. So what machine learning uses is that it uses something called as these algorithms. Now, I'm pretty much sure you have heard of what algorithms are. Very specifically, it is that, say, laid out steps or maybe say procedures that you want to apply or say solve a particular problem for that matter. So what machine learning does is that it takes certain algorithms, okay, and then uses very specifically, it uses the machines, sorry, trains the machines when it comes to identifying the patterns, okay, when it comes to identifying the features about the data for that matter. So whenever you undergo or maybe whenever you put your machines into the process of learning, all right, more the training data, the more the accurate predictions is. Very simple. Okay, it's going to be so correlative to your business context that the more the experience that you are, all right, maybe the more your instincts would be stronger. Maybe say your solutions can be really being say trusted upon for that matter. Okay. Because again, you come with diverse experience, expertise, and so on, so for that matter. So here, when we and put machines or systems into training, all right, data will be used, and that data is called as the training data, and that's where again you will yield because at the end of the whole day, machine learning results in that of so what say generating say predictions. So for example, how do you know that maybe say mm, a particular email, all right, that has arrived in your inbox has to be labeled as a spam. All right, that's machine learning coming into role play for that matter, where on your email, definitely the models definitely will be able to analyze the data or maybe the patterns that are found in the email for that matter. And depending upon that, it can really flag an email as spam for that matter. Okay, or for example, maybe say your credit card companies, all right, maybe understand your patterns of spending, all right. So and they will really be able to identify what your spending patterns is in a particular zip code. So maybe say in certain zip codes you're not visiting, all right, and suddenly they see that maybe there is a sudden purchase that has taken place on a particular zip code that is on a particular location, and that too, which is higher than the normal margin of what you could have say really brought or maybe what you would have bought in the past. So there's a pattern that has been violated. So again, on that, definitely it can really ensure that okay, they can stop that transaction because it identifies or it really tries to predict the probability that even that transaction it's a fraud for that matter. Okay, it's a credit card fraud might be taking place. Maybe they would choose to connect with you and then maybe say decide whether the transaction is to be approved or not for that matter. So at the end of the whole day, when data science was all about identifying experimental models, all right, you will see that say machine learning was all right about very particularly say understanding predictive models as such around there. So machine learning identified predictive models. Okay, your data science identified what experimental models for that matter. But there's another very intrinsic layer that is available as a part of AI, which is called as the deep learning, which is a subset of machine learning for that matter, which goes into the depth, as the name suggests, deep to the depth. So deep learning, okay, if you would ask me, I would say that it is that which will process informations like how your human brains work. All right. Again, using something called as artificial neural networks for that matter. So what happens in deep learning as compared to machine learning is that, okay, see, your machine learning fails in certain scenarios to really discover some complex patterns. Okay. Again, in terms of differentiating the attributes, okay, about the data by itself. And that's where especially in the context of data which is very much unstructured. For example, you're dealing with images, say text, audio, and so on. So you can deploy deep learning for that matter. And that's where you will require enormous amount of data that can be used for better analysis and of course for the purpose of computing for that matter. So for example, maybe say if you're looking, you might prefer to go for deep learning techniques, all right, that can be used for detection of cancerous cells, all right, in your medical images as such around there. So you can scan every pixel in the image, all right, and then definitely put that, and based upon that, the model can really predict, all right, whether that particular cell looks like a cancerous cell or not. So look at in that context from a medical perspective, how beneficial AI can be. Again, right, with images, medical images, they can really analyze and so on, so for that matter. And then depending upon that, maybe see you can strategize, maybe organizations can strategize what can be the next potential step, maybe as you diagnose, maybe then thorough verification is required. So deep learning again takes into that complex patterns of working with data. So most of your image processing solutions, your speech-based solutions as such around there, they deploy very particularly working with these deep learning techniques for that matter, where the complex identification of complex data is very much possible and its correlations are identified, and then definitely you can make it to predict or say come up with these outcomes for that matter. So whenever you're working with say AI, all right, it's very important maybe you as a business leader to understand some of these terminologies, not all the technical terminologies, but definitely these aspects are really going to be beneficial to work across the lines for that matter. So again, having understood these some of these basic concepts, let's try to understand very particularly what can be the strategic impact, all right, that AI can bring on your businesses or maybe the business transformations that you're looking into for that matter. So there is no doubt, all right, say, I pretty much believe that you all have a clear understanding of AI. Okay, even after the particular discussions that we just did across the two slides. Okay, there is no doubt that AI is really reshaping your businesses. Okay, name it, any industry, whether it's your automobile, maybe it's your healthcare, or maybe say it's finance, manufacturing, and so on, so for that matter. So you will see that, of course, okay, some decades back, we started off with, see, digitization computers and businesses, the industrialization coming in, then computers and so on. So you, when we stand in this particular year, you would see that AI is definitely, say, transforming, definitely changing or shifting gears when it comes to the business landscapes. Okay, irrespective of the industries that we talked about. Uh, and definitely it's bringing changes when it comes to how organizations or companies can operate, all right, uh, their particular day-to-day task. maybe how they can definitely come up with delivering or ensuring they deliver value, maybe in terms of interactions with customers and so on, so for that matter. And as a result, definitely there is no doubt that nobody is into business because they don't want to stay ahead. Everybody wants to stay ahead. They want to sell their best products, best services, and of course, ensure that they have a very, very loyal customer base for that matter, who really, really trust and definitely, and as an organization, you're able to deliver those solutions for that matter. So again, for businesses that look towards for staying competitive, all right, um, organizations nowadays are not only challenged, uh, but of course they need very specific. It's a very, very much a necessity to have strategic integration of artificial intelligence that ensures long-term success. Okay, so for example, let's take from a business perspective, all right, what can be, I'm just highlighting some of the potential areas, some solutions, maybe if you are a business leader, and maybe something that strikes your mind after this particular session or this particular video presentation. I'm pretty much sure you're going to be looking, you will identify certain avenues via which you will be able to integrate AI for that matter. But it is definitely the best way, maybe say one of the first things that I can really think about in the impact of artificial intelligence impacting your businesses is that of the efficiency it brings in operations. All right. The ops team definitely, and of course the cost factor. That's a really a big concern, right? Businesses are challenged with. Um, See, when I talk about ops or maybe see operational efficiency, there is no doubt, all right, every day. Um, every businesses with respect to its team members, that individuals definitely they are performing certain tasks for that matter. And every organization has a streamlined way of what executing or say processing certain business tasks as such around there. But what really AI will help is that in terms of automation capabilities it brings in. Okay, how you can particularly say automate your routine tasks. All right, for example, maybe just like of say you composing an email, or maybe as a manager, as say as a VP, you are interested with the role of maybe say in providing or doing some kind of sanctions as such around there. So you can use AI when it comes to automation of your day-to-day tasks. And again, all that is a part of your businesses for that matter. Maybe you're looking for streamlining your business processes and definitely reducing the cost as such on there. So, say maybe you want to integrate chatbots, okay, so that you want to have services that are 24/7 available, standard responses and solutions that can be catered back to your customers, stakeholders, or maybe say you are working for a supply chain business and you are strategizing ways via which you can optimize your supply chains for that matter. So you can see that AI will drastically improve the efficiency and the kind of productivity that you're looking at by its integration for that matter. So if you are, say, as a part of your operational efficiency and cost or say optimizations, you can use machine learning very specifically, which can analyze the data, all right, large volumes of data, and starts to predict you maybe what can be the trends, all right, how you can particularly optimize your resource allocations, okay, how you can identify your inefficiencies. Okay, and you can very particularly make more informed and data-driven decisions as such around the year. That's very much possible for that matter. So, for example, maybe say I'm working for a manufacturing company, and maybe say I have a bunch of equipments. That's where I can use AI, right? For example, maybe identify when particularly I should say. Uh, say identify time when it comes to repairing my systems equipments as such around there. So I can go for predictive maintenance of my equipments in the solutions that are available, that helps me to reduce downtime for that matter. Again, with respect, so that again at the time of need, before the time of need, I can save on the cost of repairing, or maybe see the lost productivity that might come up in that case for that matter being. Then maybe I can use very particularly say AI when it comes to a data-driven decision making as such around there. Okay, so again, decision in the sense, for example, maybe an e-commerce giant, all right, wants to understand what can be the say pricing optimization possibilities available, or say maybe looking for inventory management. Maybe you belong to a marketing team and you're trying to run some marketing campaigns as such around the year. So that's where you can really leverage the capabilities of artificial intelligence, where, of course, on the large volumes of data, uh, you can put that data into your decision-making process for that matter. So organizations will be enabled to analyze large volumes of data sets, all right, very quickly, very rapidly, and very accurately. Okay, because again, again, you mitigate any possibilities of human errors and inaccuracies that are possible, and machines or these models will be able to uncover, unearth the patterns which are undiscovered, the trends, okay, the insights, and so on, so for that matter. And what really what helps organization is that again with that, okay, they will be able to make what data-driven decisions, okay, in terms of agility, all right, or maybe say very specifically to adapt themselves to the market changer. Definitely that's going to be possible with respect to the decision making capabilities that are based on data that is made possible. Then you have the personalization and customer experiences, okay, where your AI can really be impactful. Uh, Maybe something like your chatbots, okay, or maybe say your services like say Netflix, maybe say Spotify. How does it suggest certain contents back to you? And definitely, how are they on point? All right, because they really understand what your say your patterns are. All right, or they analyze those patterns, your behaviors, your habits. Okay, and definitely really enhances user engagement for that matter. So this is what it gets integrated, or what it typically technically called as the recommendation engines. All right, chatbots providing you with robust solutions, right? Um, where you can analyze. Everybody wants to make their customer the king, all right? They want to want to make them the best, feel them the best. So you can identify what an individual's preferences are, their behaviors, all right, and you can use that in terms of what say delivering tailored recommendations as such around there, maybe offerings, products, content, and so on. So, and what is the outcome? Your customers are satisfied, you have a loyal customer base, and definitely revenue is what the outcome that will be taking things to the next level. So again, with AI innovation, right? You, if you are looking for discovering new products, new services, right? Maybe you're looking for some treatment plans, maybe see for drug diagnosis as such around here. As again, you can come up with innovations for that matter. No, there's always a question, hey, with AI, do we really have possibilities of innovation and creativity? Definitely it's there. Okay, you can come up with new avenues for innovation for that matter. Whenever you want to create new products, okay, maybe you want to enhance existing offerings, or maybe say you want to really kick started with the new business models. It's going to be very much possible for that matter, because with AI, you can go for rapid prototyping, testing. Okay, you can really accelerate the development cycles with respect to integration of artificial intelligence. You can have very particularly say enhanced employee productivity and talent development also. All right. Because again, that's a real challenge, right? Most business leaders would agree to, right? They wanted to ensure they have the best people. A team is organization is known by its team, so again, upskilling them, maybe identifying the gaps. Again, these are some of the challenges definitely HRs find in organizations. So that's where, okay, businesses would be possible for businesses. It's going to be possible to upskill their workforces, all right, by automating some repetitive tasks, maybe some time-consuming work as such around there, ensuring that they focus on something which is more strategic, identify the gaps, okay, what can be the resources, how they can really ensure that resources are properly allocated, how you can manage the performance as such around there. With AI, definitely you can use it for risk management. There are a bunch of models that are available that are used increasingly for the risk management and mitigation, all right, by potentially identifying the risk in the business operations for that matter. Maybe to analyze market conditions, maybe to analyze your customer behaviors, and so on. So you can take note of certain early warnings. Maybe you can make track of real-time analytics generated by these AI solutions in terms of coming with what guided decisions as such around there. Again, that will really ensure that, okay, that really enhances the capability of a company in terms of maybe to respond or come up with solutions whenever certain unexpected behaviors has such happens for that matter. Maybe say for fraud detection, I'm sorry, maybe for fraud detection or as such around there. That is pretty much possible. Then you have, say, again, agility in the market and prediction at a product adaptation as such around there. So that's where, very particularly, you will be able to adapt to the changes. Of course, market is very much dynamic, and as a business leader, I'm pretty much sure you will agree on that, right? So again, you want to know what are the activities of the competitor, maybe understanding the changing sentiments of your customers, all right, or maybe what you think is the emerging need in the hour, and so on, so for that matter. So this can be really be beneficial because whenever you want to stay highly competitive, especially in certain industries, okay, maybe in your finance, maybe in your retail, this can be taken into account. And finally, definitely you can use AI, all right. You will have to very particularly say again, you'll have to look in terms for the adoptions and its possibilities of artificial intelligence with respect to the ethical consideration around that. So you must address some potential concerns, okay, regarding data privacy, okay, maybe some biases and so on, so for that matter. Because again, you'll have to promote transparency, fairness, accountability, again with respect to that or what customer trust, compliances that you're looking at within that particular framework for that matter. So again, that can be really be a consideration, all right, that you'll have to consider, or maybe say again that it is being used in a fair manner, ensuring that the well-being of the organization, the individuals, and the society for that matter. And definitely, as AI will be integrated, they will have a competitive advantage for that matter. So when organizations are successfully able to really identify and say, again, these are some of the points that I just talked about, but yes, when organizations are really able to integrate AI, right, into their strategy and so on, so they will really have a very much have an advantage for that matter, all the way from operational excellency to that of again going for sustainable solutions and so on. So you can create new business models. You can come up with say new potential values in your maybe say certain areas which you weren't being able to do that previously for that matter. And you can leverage very particularly okay with respect to what in terms of innovation, experiences, cost effectiveness as such around there for that matter. So you will see that okay the strategic impact of AI on business transformations, you cannot never ever overstate it for that matter. So of course you will see the technology is evolving, okay, it gets to mature. You must have to have the right tools for that matter, okay, as in terms of what the strategic vision that needs to be driven for that matter. So by adopting AI, you can definitely drive efficiency, innovation, the kind of customer satisfaction that you want to have it delivered, the agility that you're looking at for that matter. All right. Again, staying very much competitive, and of course, in the fast-paced environment that we exist for that matter, being to be maximized with respect to unintended, say, consequences for that matter. So if you are as a business leader, all right, and you're trying to look okay forward for staying ahead, okay, integrating AI, the transformation and so on. So okay, then definitely this is the right time. All right. There is no question, there is no doubt, area of doubt, where we will ask about if, how, or whatever it is for that matter, because definitely it's already out there for that matter. Now, it's very interesting, all right, say what Microsoft has to offer, all right, because one of the leaders in terms of, again, when you develop these AI solutions, it must be worth noting that, okay, you can go building these solutions all the way from the scratch, okay. Uh, you can have these solutions built from all the way from the scratch. It's very much possible if you don't have such a time around there and you don't want to experiment around with tools and so on possibilities for that matter. You can leverage upon the trust of Microsoft's offering for that matter, because Microsoft is really democratizing AI in its usage for that matter. So that's where Microsoft has developed very specifically a wide range of solutions, okay, and services that makes it possible for bringing AI to everyone, irrespective of whatever the field level they belong to. So typically, say, in a common sense, or maybe in a common approach, there are four approaches that you can see that has been laid out here in these slides. Okay, number one is that for your Copilot for your business users. All right, then you have the Power Platform, then you have Azure AI Services, and then you have Azure Machine Learning. See, I'm pretty much sure maybe some of you are well versed or would have heard about co-pilots. Okay, when I say co-pilots, it's going to be it's a tool. It's a very particularly say that service that is available, which is gonna say sojourn along with you in your business processes and transactions. Okay, embedded into the environment of your Microsoft 365 for that matter. So what Microsoft has done with Copilot is that it has embedded artificial intelligence into your everyday applications. So you can benefit from the capabilities of artificial intelligence, even if you don't know anything about maybe coding, maybe data sciences and machine learning for that matter. And that's where they have made or they have delivered the software as a service, which is Copilot for that matter, because again, being integrated into your say services for that matter, again, you need not have where you as a user would not have to be worried about it for that matter. So you have M365 Copilot, which has been incorporated with respect to GenAI capabilities, where you can leverage its capabilities as you would have interacted to a virtual agent for that matter, and you can make it or make use of it in terms of performing your specific task within your M365 applications like maybe Teams, maybe your Word, maybe your Excel, maybe your same Outlook, and so on, so for that matter. So that's very much possible. So then you also have very particularly AI, the context of our platform, okay, where you can make use of Microsoft's offering forward to low code products, okay, where you can build different pieces of applications for that matter. So again, they have a layer of very particularly AI, but again, with the transparency that needs to be implemented, without even say writing any code as such around there, you will be able to benefit from it without handling it directly for that matter. For example, in your tools like say Power Automate, Power BI, Power Apps as such around there. Okay, definitely that is very much possible. Then you have Azure AI services. I'm not sure how many of you are say worked with Azure as such, but yes, on the Azure cloud, you have a very interesting services which offers you with a wide range of solutions. Okay, for users who want to deliver an AI project. Okay, but okay, this is really helpful for those who have very little or no data science expertise for that matter. So what Azure AI services does that it offers you with some pre-built, all right, some off-shelf services where you can make use of these API calls, right, from your client application side, and the models on your Azure AI services will be able to run, perform the execution logic, and provide or generate outcomes for that matter. So again, if you're looking for reusable models, okay, customizable models that are available in that case, okay, without the burden of developing solutions from the scratch, Azure AI services is the recommended one for that matter being. Then you have Azure Machine Learning. All right. So now all these are some of the words that we heard in the start, right? So Azure Machine Learning is that which will, okay, which is capable of handling a machine learning task. It's a service that really uh, enables you to handle what machine learning tasks for that matter. So if you are belonging to a data science team, maybe a machine learning team for that matter, so you can identify, okay, with respect to setting up your projects, maybe automation, the best practices and so on. So in the context of what this particular service that is Azure machine learning for that matter. So again, you will see that with Microsoft, definitely these are the four solution areas where AI is being integrated, where you can identify, all right, to again, so if you're looking to develop some solutions from the scratch, machine learning, if you have the right data, quantified data, qualified data as such around there, definitely you can leverage its capabilities. But if you want to go for some shell services for that matter, where your existing client applications can send the data and run through the logic and definitely generate some responses, Azure AI services. And if you're looking for some business application development, okay, in your Power BI, in your Power Apps, Power Automate, as such on the okay, definitely you can leverage that possibilities with Copilot in Power Platform. And then finally, you have these co-pilots, which are going to be very much a part of your day-to-day task in your business context for that matter being. Okay. All right, everyone, let's take a quick 5 minutes break. I know that's the span of attention. Let's do one thing. We'll be back after 5 minutes and I will start on the remaining topics after the break.
Thank you so much, Gino. Hello, everyone. I'm Sagnik. I'm the product marketing manager for Microsoft here at Netcom Learning. And I'd like to quickly take you over through our badge redemption process before we head over for the break. I hope my screen is visible. And first of all, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today. And I'm excited to announce that all the participants in today's masterclass have been given exclusive free access to the Microsoft official courseware and the related digital achievement trophies and badges from Microsoft on these three courses: AI 3017, which is Microsoft AI for Business Leaders, MS 4004, which is empowering your workforce with Microsoft 365 Copilot use cases, and AI 102, which is designing and implementing Microsoft Azure AI solutions. These are three incredible courses which are all aligned to AI and Copilot, the latest and greatest from Microsoft. So let me quickly take you through this link that will be available on your GoToWebinar chat window for all of you to follow along with me. So I just pause for 10 seconds so everyone can identify the link, open this up on your respective browsers, and we can proceed from there. You can find the link in the chat window of your GoToWebinar portal. Okay, I hope we all have found the link and we are on this page, so let's go over it together, right? So on the very first section, you'd see the three courses listed here, and there are three unique links for each of these courses and badges for you to redeem. So we are going to repeat this exercise for all of these three individual times, right? So we're going to start with the AI 3017, then we're going to once again come back to this page, click on MS 4004, and then once again, click on AI 102. It is going to take barely 30 seconds to about 2 minutes for you to complete the redemption across all of these. So let's quickly get started with the process. So there are three simple steps for you to follow with each of these three links above to redeem your courseware and the badges. And what's the very first step is once you click on one of these links, right, you'd be redirected to learn.microsoft.com, right? That's the official Microsoft Learn portal. And you'd be prompted by them to log in. So if you're already signed into your Microsoft Learn profile, you'd be good to go. You can directly continue from step 2. If you're not already signed in, or if you don't have a Microsoft Learn account, you'd be asked to either create one or use your existing credentials to log into your account. So the process is simple. We all are familiar with this process, right? So if you have the account, just filled in your credentials and you're good to go. If you don't have it, you can just simply click on create one option under this as highlighted here in red, no account, create one. You need to click on that link and it's going to take another 1 or 2 minutes at most for you to set up your Microsoft account. Now, once you are through this process, either you have signed in or you have created your Microsoft Learn account, you would be seeing this dialog on your screen for each of the 3 times you're going to repeat for 3 courses that you have been given access to. Now, once you get to this window, you basically just have to click on the redeem button. You're already going to get a pre-filled unique code pre-populated on this dialog. You don't need to edit it. You don't need to change it. You just simply need to click on the redeem button. And it's going to process that for about 5 to 10 seconds, depending on your internet speed and bandwidth. And you're going to finally see a prompt like this that we have added your achievements to your profile. That's all there is to do. So you need to just simply repeat this process 3 times for these 3 links. It's barely going to take you 3 to 4 minutes tops, and you'd be getting access to the 3 coursewares as well as the related achievement trophies and badges from Microsoft. And we highly encourage you to make a post on your LinkedIn profiles. You're going to get the option there to share your achievement and celebrate it by sharing your digital trophy on LinkedIn. And don't forget to tag Netcom Learning and Microsoft on your posts for maximum visibility and reach. And all the coursewares and your trophies are available on your profile, and you can access them using the training tab on your Microsoft Learn profile dashboard. With that, I'd like to pause so everyone can go for the break, and we are going to be continuing shortly. Thank you so much.
Sure, we are now going to take a 5-minute break, but before we do that, we are going to launch a quick poll that we want to invite you to participate in. Doing so helps us know how we can better serve you by telling us who might be interested in more information or in taking some additional training. In addition, we have a lot more informative webinars coming up, so please go to netcomlearning.com/webinars in order to register.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. Hope all of you are here. And let's continue back to the content to focus upon as a part of this masterclass. Let's take this further ahead. Now, here is an interesting, say, customer story, right? That is being, say, laid out here. All right. Uh, and this is really about, uh, let me just show you. Mm, just a second. Let me fetch this link. All right. Mm, let's see. So this is an interesting link. All right. Again, that speaks about the organization, which is NetLogic for that matter. Be okay, and how particularly it was able to leverage the capabilities of AI with respect to Microsoft Copilot. Okay, in terms of growing sales. Okay, with respect to ensuring there is a work-life balance and of course customer satisfaction for that matter. So they had its own challenges for sure, all right, because they had challenges like say whenever you had customer meetings, and I'm pretty much sure you all would have faced it, right? So one of the problems that they face is the inconsistencies that would take place in customer meetings whenever it comes to notes to be taken for that matter. And definitely as a result, here, again, okay, capturing the customer request as such around there. So they lost time, okay, and most of the time that dealt with respect to some kind of a miscommunication among team members for that matter. Okay, that's where, okay, so what happens, most of the informations, okay, um became inaccurate, or maybe say something that was been missing, okay, as such around there. And that's where the team, all right, started using Copilot for speed. Okay, again, 2 years back, definitely, to solve the particular challenges. So what happens is that again they were able to utilize the capabilities of NLP, which stands for natural language processing. So whenever they want to generate key meeting summaries, all right, maybe the discussion highlights, okay, to be automatically transcribed from their team meetings, that was really be beneficial. All right. I would be really interested to know whether you guys in your team are definitely deploying this, because most of the days definitely we in our team definitely have it deployed, but I hope so that's the same with you all for the matter. So again, with this capability, they see that they were able to see some kind of improved efficiency, because again, whatever the discrepancies that were being identified earlier was being eliminated for that matter. What was the impact? Okay, okay. The impact is that okay, they were able to save at least 30 minutes per meeting. All right, and with Copilot for Sales, all right, they were able to share informations very quickly, and they were able to have what better alignment within the team for that matter. So that really helped them to have boosted sales, all right, improve customer satisfaction, and definitely, of course, okay, under them it's definitely these team members. So they were able to manage with respect to that of the work-life balance that was or that the organizations were able to achieve in that context for that matter. Okay, so here see implementing CATM improved skills, contributed to work-life balance, and increased revenue by 25 percentage in one quarter due to reduced burnout and what enhanced efficiency. So the task was executed faster. Okay, they have their of course they can have their personal time once they're done with the task, and being more productive for that matter. So as a business leader, I would really, I definitely should be working. I would really think about that, or maybe see how particularly I can look for the well-being of my team members, and without compromising on how effectively I can have my solutions or maybe services, my task executed for that matter. Okay, where I can really identify what are the pain points of my team members and how particularly I can integrate AI into their existing task, all right, and really be benefited on that for that matter being. So this is a very interesting, say, case study or maybe a customer success story that we talk about as they were able to integrate artificial intelligence, all right, for that say success of the business for that matter being. But let's very quickly get into some of the other facets. Okay, what are the considerations for defining an AI strategy? All right. Again, see, there is no doubt there is an excitement that is there around artificial intelligence. Okay, and you will see that AI technologies are driving more value to organizations, and AI should be embraced when it comes to whenever you want to keep your have to or have a particularly a competitive edge for that matter. But say there is a sometimes it can be intimidating to be really honest, because again the complexity that is there with respect to AI can be very much intimidating or something that can be really that needs to be addressed. So whenever an organization that needs to adopt AI, okay, it should have a very solid plan for AI adoption for that matter. Okay, so that you can scale fully to the benefit for the AI, say AI's potential, and to be taken into account for that matter being. So you should say whenever you're working with AI or whenever you take that into consideration, you should consider AI really as a tool to reach your business goals, all right, and incorporate it into the corporate strategy that we are looking at for that matter. So what happens with Microsoft, what Microsoft really recommends that they prefer or what Microsoft lays out is to use an holistic framework for AI strategy for that matter. So what this framework really lays out, or if you are a leader and you're trying to say adopt or identify certain strategies when it comes to adoption of AI, this framework can even be applied to your organization, all right? And this will provide you with a very sensible approach to the implementation of artificial intelligence. Okay, because this really covers three areas or three core elements. Number one is that of the external environment. Number two is the value proposition. Number three is the organizational execution for that matter. So when I talk about external environment, okay, the external environment really gives you the context. All right, whenever you talk about, I'll talk about that later. Yes, it gives you it gives you the context for that matter. And then you have the value proposition, all right. Again, it is something that you want to make it available for your customers. And then, of course, the organizational execution is where is the executive capabilities of your organization for that matter. That is to be considered for that matter. So whenever you are looking for AI adoption, you always, the starting point is going to be the external environment. Okay, like you should be able to understand the external industry environment for that matter. Okay, this is where you start measuring how AI is impacting your sector, how this technology is shifting overall maybe buying behavior. Okay, you will see that AI is definitely leading and empowering new competitors. So it's disrupting what current business processes, opening new opportunities for new business models. And of course, say very particularly, governments are taking actions to deliver new regulations on your artificial intelligence for that matter being. So you will have to really understand what the actual landscape looks like or where you want to venture, or maybe say whether it's in terms of regulation, the competitions, and how does that really happens to be, all right, in terms of the existing solutions that really working for that matter. And as you integrate AI, all right, what changes you should be ready to face up or anticipate the changes that's going to come by, all right, as you capture these informations on these levels for that matter in terms of the adoption strategy we will consider. Number two is the value proposition that we need to consider for that matter. Okay, the value proposition that we need to talk about. See, the question arises: do I want a solution that is, say, fully, say, world's best class in technology, or I want to really have solutions that really benefits my clients. Okay, so when we talk about AI and its adoption, right, you must consider the benefits, all right, the functionalities that AI products and services will make it available to you, or maybe to your clients for that matter. So there may be, say, some opportunities when it comes to enhancing, improving the customer experience by improving a particular service or by adding new features. So what you will really do is that you will add AI by which you will be more efficient, okay, and you will be able to deliver your solutions at a more competitive price for that matter. So maybe it's time very specifically where you can identify what can be the new business lines, all right, that can be opened up with artificial intelligence, all right. So maybe say whenever you write your value propositions, you'll have to ensure that you be what very much realistic, and you take into account the cost of prediction, the delivery. Okay, again, because again, that will really have a serious impact on the experience that you want to cater to your valuable customers for that matter. And this is where you will have to decide how to meet your external challenges, all right, and definitely leveraging the key opportunities without missing out on anything for that matter. So definitely say a customer centric approach is very much important, but again strategizing things that can make or write a clear balance that can really bring in new propositions or new values, new dimensions to your existing business with the integration of artificial intelligence, if can be identified, that can be really lead to the success. And finally, okay, the most uh say the problem or the organization execution that we talk about is that you must ensure that your organization has the capabilities and the resources to embrace your AI strategy plan. Okay, so if you are not ready to deliver it to the term, then these prepositions does not even make sense. So your goals will likely require deep organizational changes, so everyone in the company we can fulfill the new role that they're taking up for that matter. So that's where again it's a very serious issue that needs to be taken into account, because we talk about alignment. We talk about alignment when it comes to processes, when it comes to people, and so on, so for that matter. So whenever you are looking to say empower employees with the educate AI related competencies for that matter, you will have to very particularly have what alignment between what people and the processes for that matter. And that's where it's very important that we promote an AI ready culture. Okay, where of course people or team members are able to say adopt or say accept, integrate or say AI into them for that matter. So this will really, and one of the real challenges is that organizations are really, or maybe what really holds them is this final part where, of course, the continuous learning, embracing of AI, so that they become an AI ready company for that matter. Let's try to talk about that matter, or maybe this very particular matter, the third element that is the say in terms of organization and the execution a bit more, so that we understand really particularly what I'm trying to talk about for that matter. See, it's very important that when we talk about organizations that need that looks into integration of AI, you will have to foster a culture that really exists, that embraces, all right, a way where you accept the change for that matter. So when we talk about any good AI system, all right, it is heavily relying on the data. Okay, so if you have the best and the complete data, and you will be able to really reason over your entire data estate, that would pave way for a good AI system for that matter. That means what? Okay, it means I mean to say that, okay, it all depends on the matter of integrity and the access for that matter. So when we talk about, say, fostering AI culture, I mean to say that You need to empower people to be a part of AI transformation for that matter. So that's where you, as an organization, you'll have to provide certain, say, very particularly opportunities to achieve the goal in terms of what embracing the AI ready culture. Number, that's where you'll have to enable them. You'll have to provide them time for learning, and definitely there is some time very specifically in terms of what, say, experimentation for that matter. So when I talk about enablement, I talk about, say, spaces, resources, security, support, so that people will be able to improve what is possible with AI for that matter. And of course, people should be able to, your team members should be able to get the knowledge, the skills, and definitely during the particular processes, you will have to encourage new ideas as such around there. Right, to be empowered on those levels for that matter. So there is going to be continuous improvement, all right. So you must allow very specifically some errors, okay. You say as well as some say acknowledge in terms of what the success that you're looking at for the matter be. And then of course, with all of this being taken into consideration, of course, you bring in the data, all right, as per your AI ready culture that we talk about. Okay, data is going to be very much crucial, no doubt on that. But along with that, again, as you empower them, you have to foster a responsible approach to the use of artificial intelligence. So you will see that AI definitely is evolving, no doubt. It has the potential to drive what change to your life. Okay, again. But again, with great powers comes what great responsibilities, right? So there can be issues with respect to, say, complex challenges, all right, questions that needs to be addressed, what we want to see for that matter. So organizations should be able to ask themselves, how do we really build these solutions? How do we design? All right. How do we use AI systems that can really be able to create a positive impact on individuals and the society for that matter? So there again, we can start asking how can we ensure that the AI systems treat everyone fairly? How can we best prepare the workforce for the new era of artificial intelligence? And so on, so for that matter. So whenever you are trying to say integrate AI very culture, address these facets, okay, with all the way starting from the data, the empowerment that you can bring onto the table, and embracing, fostering a responsible AI approach, all right, that really addresses some complex challenges, all right, and comes up with viable solutions in terms of implementing that for the data. Now, here are some of the really some of the drivers, all right, of the success of artificial intelligence that have been spoken about. Okay, again, what you see here are the five pillars, all right, very particularly that drive organizations to AI success. Number one is definitely strategy, business strategy for that matter. All right, where you identify what your goals are. All right, not just want to integration of any particular technology. What do you want to achieve? All right, how do you want to integrate AI to support your business objectives, business processes, business tasks for that matter? Okay, especially with respect to maybe say decision making, automation. All right, and so on so. And then you strategize, all right, okay, identify those tasks and start integration of artificial intelligence into that. Now, again, the next question arises, okay, what can be the technical strategy that can be consideration? So, like I said earlier, do you want to start all the way from the scratch? Do you have the right infrastructure? Do you have the right quantified data? And so on, so for that matter. So do you have the access to the data? Do you have the right infrastructure? Do you have the team as such? Or do you want to make it use of already available, say, solutions that are available, okay, and start integrating into your existing fabric for that matter? Okay. Again, it depends upon you. So you will have to strategize in terms of what the implementation part with respect to the technology that you want to consider for the matter be. And then of course, AI strategy and experience plays a crucial role for that matter. Okay. Because again, it's a diverse team. Okay, there might be different subject matter experts. Okay, uh, again, everybody has their own same views as such around there. So you'll have to identify what really works in specific scenarios and what aligns to your specific business goals that you're looking at for that matter. Okay, the repetition, the automation, the streamlining that you're trying to look in as such around there involved with your AI projects. All right, that will be really helpful for the success of the AI projects that your implementation that you're looking at for that matter. Of course, organization and culture, leadership as leaders, definitely you will understand. Of course, communication, right goals, right vision. Again, subject matter experts will play a crucial role, no doubt, in terms of the success of AI projects for that matter. Okay, if we can really strategize things, all right, on those levels. And finally, all right, building a real framework, ensuring for safe, transparent, interpretable, say, pair systems and solutions in action as the integration of AI, it leads to definitely the success for that matter. Okay, so this is all fetched from that of the leader's guide to build a foundation for AI success white paper for that matter. Again, available in the Microsoft Learn page for the Microsoft Learn. Definitely, but understand that, okay, AI governance is really, really be crucial for that matter. Okay, because you'll have to identify the limitations. Okay, you'll have to evaluate them. You'll have to mitigate them. You'll have to test them. How do you evaluate them? What are the key metrics in terms of those evaluations and performances that you're looking at? That will be beneficial. So when you identify or when you layer or when you place these five pillars, all right, that can really lead to what say that will drive towards the success of implementation or the adoption of artificial intelligence that we are talking about for that matter. Here is a very interesting facet, okay, that speaks about the, the stages of what AI value creation for that matter. Okay, so this is where you start with the 3% of your task is very particularly all about what, or say the percentage of organizations, okay, who report seeing significant value from AI investments. So in when you're exploring, identifying the potential areas where you can integrate, of course, that is where the 3% has been taken into consideration of what you will see here in this case. What you can see or in the planning phase, definitely, of the number of companies that were being, say, very particularly evaluated as such around there. Okay, formalizing, all right, how much they found significance of artificial intelligence, the value of that, and when they go for scaling. So we'll talk about scaling later, all right, but yes, we will start small, but definitely as you scale across, okay, you will see the tremendous change and the benefit for that matter. And it takes some time, right, your fruit to bear out. It's the realization phase for that matter. And definitely once implemented, there is no doubt organizations will definitely be able to find value, all right, the kind of value that AI can really bring in its context for that matter. Now, as we prepare for AI or its adoption for that matter, it is very important that we talk about the implications of responsible AI for that matter. So we start by, say, understanding what is the societal implications of artificial intelligence. So your AI has broad prospects. Okay, it has broad, serious impacts when it comes to society. Okay, maybe say questions that needs to be asked about. Okay, challenges and so on, so for that matter. But see, it's very important that we address these concerns in that context. Okay, because we need to have responsible AI solutions. I'm sorry, we need to have, say, responsible AI solutions that really are being implemented for that matter when it comes to, say, being fair, being unbiased, um, again, or let's since you're trying to mimic human solutions, all right, or say mimic human intelligence, so you will have to play on the grounds with the same model grounds that a human being would have been able to do for that matter. So you will see that, okay, you will have to address, okay, when you say prepare for that responsible AI solutions, you will be ready to face some unintended or consequences or problems that might come up, okay, in any particular scenario that would lead to some kind of a misbehavior for that matter. So that's where very particularly say you will be able to identify how particularly responsible AI brings in values on those contexts for that matter. Now, leveraging AI co-pilots try to understand how, particularly in different business scenarios, different functions, how you can really be benefited from your co-pilots for that matter. Okay, I'm just trying to talk this here, so speak about these facets. Again, giving you some ideas of some scenarios, certain functions that really you want to consider. Maybe if you want to add more, maybe explore those possibilities. Definitely, I'll leave it to you guys for that matter. Okay, so this is where with co-pilots you are trying to bring in a transformative approach that can lead to productivity, that can drive innovation, definitely in terms of improving decision making as such around there. So I'm pretty much sure you all have worked with co-pilots, but when I talk about co-pilots here in this case, these are some custom co-pilots that I'm talking about. Okay, not the standard M365 co-pilots as such around there. So an AI co-pilot is an intelligent assistant, right? Like how you would have worked with the M365, you could have used the NLP capabilities in it for that matter. So an AI co-pilot is an intelligent assistant, okay, an AI assistant to be very specific, which will really support okay employees by automation of your task, providing you with insights, augmentations, maybe see human decision making in your real time for that matter. So what these co-pilots really use is that they use something called as NLP, that is natural language processing. They can use machine learning. If you want to use RP, that is robotic process automations, okay, they can be used in terms of working along the side of human users for that matter, and in terms of achieving quality, efficiency of your work across various business domains for that matter. So here is some of the breakdown. I'm giving you some areas, all right, where you can leverage the capabilities of AI powered pilots, all right, and definitely across your business functions for that matter. Number one is sales and marketing, all right. So your co-pilots can really supercharge your sales teams and of course the marketing departments. Okay, for example, if you're looking for automation of your repetitive tasks, maybe you want to analyze large volumes of data and come up with insights for lead generation, maybe for customer say engagement that we are looking at for that matter. Definitely that's going to be possible. And definitely forecasting, right? The prediction capabilities that are available. Okay, so if you want to even come up with say analyze the customer's data and generate some personalized content, okay, some product recommendations, targeted messaging, that's possible. With forecasting, you can maybe you can predict the future sales. You can very particularly see have say solutions, or maybe you want to go for performance tracking. You want to plan accurately, allocate resources perfectly. That is very much possible. You can come up with the customer insights that I spoke about, right? The strategies, marketing strategies, what can be the pain points that the customer is facing for that matter. That's possible. Now, maybe you want to use co-pilots in your customer service and support for that matter. There also it can bring in a lot of capabilities for that matter. Number one, with respect to that of chatbots, okay, which can really handle your routine customer service requirements or requests for that matter. So whenever you want to provide say instant responses and so on, so it's possible. Again, if needed, you can have it integrated into your websites, your applications, and so on. So maybe you want to do some case routing as such around here when it comes to some customer inquiries, okay, so that you can hand it to the right agents based upon maybe the skill, work, and so on, so or maybe on the priority. For a customer, from a customer's standpoint, all right, the sentiment attached to the products and services is very important, right? So you can use AI co-pilots when it comes to understanding the interactions of the customers, detect their sentiments, okay, the emotional tones they have for that matter being, okay, and you can tailor responses in terms of delivering solutions that can meet the requirements of the customer for that matter. You can have knowledge management. where with AI Copilot, you can provide real-time knowledge, say, based suggestions for that matter be, okay, where your customers can really find relevant solutions in a very quick manner for that matter. Now, you can use it very specifically in that of your, say, your finance roles for that matter, your accounting roles for that matter be, whenever you want to streamline your financial tasks, you want to enhance your decision making, um, maybe you want to have accuracy in terms of financial reporting. Definitely that's possible. Maybe in bookkeeping, maybe analyzing bank statements. Nowadays, a lot of tools are available, right? That can do a lot of document processing as such around the year. Really, really help whenever, say, because it mitigates the data entry part. All right. So whenever we do data entry, it's possible that there can be some errors. Okay, maybe you will miss out some errors. There can be, say, some invalid entries coming in. Even that can be mitigated. All right, in terms of the context of business for that matter, in your operations and supply chain for that matter. Again, some highlighting again in the context, right? Very particularly for inventory control, uh, forecasting, real-time monitoring that is possible, advanced data analysis that can be done in your business operations. With Copilots, you can do that. You can build solutions on those levels. You can go for product development and innovations that is available. Again, come up with solutions as such around there. And again, you can use it in the context of your IT security, cyber security as such around there. So whenever you want to, say, manage incidents, okay, incident reports to be generated, or maybe say you want to prioritize, categorize your issues in terms of severity, maybe system maintenance, all right, planning for some infrastructure requirements as such around the year. All of that can be captured in its real context. So the limitation is not, say, uh, say, just doesn't see, it's not just limited to specific areas. It's where you want to integrate AI for that matter and really, really be benefited on those levels in terms of achieving the end goal that we are looking at. Now, here is an interesting, say, a customer story. All right. Very particularly that of this company, all right, which is, say, SWM, all right, in Munich for that matter. Okay. So what they really did is that, okay, they made a mission to drive every aspect of cities' energy, heating, mobility transformation, mobility transitions for that matter, in terms of smart connectivity for all areas of infrastructure for that matter. That's where they went with a digital, say, digital transformations, making use of data, relying on insight. Okay, where they developed a solution in house, making use of Microsoft IoT, information of things, sorry, Internet of Things. I'm sorry, and they used big data to analyze in Azure cloud for that matter. Okay, and again making use of AI for that matter being. So what happens is that again they were able to achieve automation, optimization in the procurement, all right, and they really really say were able to draw insights from historical as well as with the current data, all right, in terms of the operational processes for that matter being, and they were able to forecast, all right, a charging schedule, okay, in terms of charging load management, in terms of what uniform charging infrastructure for their buses, okay, and that way they were able to digitize more than 30 infrastructure areas, making use of AI for that matter. And what they're looking for is what again scaling up for that matter being. So what happens is that okay, they were able to do more than digitally mapping infrastructure process, okay, and assets, and they were able to have what established data transparency, optimization of their processes, and that's where again going for a sustainable solution, transformation, a connection, and so on, so being made possible in the context for that matter. And that's very much because of what integration of AI for that matter be. Okay, now here are some of the key considerations, all right, when that needs to be considered or that needs to be taken into account whenever we choose to implement AI co-pilot for that matter. So it's worth noting that whenever you are trying to plan, you're trying to integrate AI, okay, you'll have to carefully look into considering these facets for that matter. Any AI is only as good as the data. Okay, so the first and the foremost facet is the data quality and the quantity. Okay, so when we talk about data quality and quantity, okay, uh, it's always tied to how you collect it. Okay, what is the data collection process? So that you can gather relevant and high quality data. You'll have to clean the data, all right. You'll have to integrate strong measures, all right. When it comes to protecting the sensitive data, establish, say, governance policies to manage data access, its ownership and usage as such around there when you're building these co-pilots for that matter. Then the next question arises are the models that you want to choose, all right, for your specific use cases for that matter. Does it really align to your organization goals? Do you want to be training it on high quality data when it comes to ensuring accurate and reliable performances, and so on. So, number three is where you will also go for the kind of experience. Okay, the UI, all right, user-friendly experiences or the interfaces that can be created, clear communication, the kind of support that can be made available as you adopt artificial intelligence for that matter. Ethical considerations I spoke about, right? How you can develop what guidelines when it comes to mitigating bias in your AI algorithms, ensuring the fair outcomes for that matter being. Um, One of the challenges definitely maybe as an organization that you're going to be facing and that needs to be addressed is that how you can integrate into existing systems for that matter. Okay, so you can go for API integration if needed. You can go for data synchronization for that matter between AI co-pilots and other systems for that matter being, and ensure that these co-pilots are interoperable for that matter across technologies, across platforms for that matter being. And you'll also have to talk about what security and the risk management, and finally the scaling factor for that matter. Our security and risk, definitely right. Okay, the potential risk, implementing it, incident responses, okay, plan for responding to AI related incidents as such around there. But I need to talk about the scalability factor because again, okay, you will have to design the infrastructure to scale as to the demand or the need of the growth of the organization for that matter. And you'll have to adopt accordingly for that. You will be able to change according to the business requirements of your technologies for that matter. So when you consider these certain, say, factors, you can successfully implement AI copilots, okay, and reap the benefits of increased efficiency, productivity, and innovation as such around there. Now, what are the strategies that really drive growth with AI? Okay, let's try to talk about that. Because here is a detailed breakdown very specifically, and it always starts by identifying the key use cases for that matter. Be okay. Understand, prioritize your use cases. Okay, that is very much aligned to your goal. Okay, and definitely nobody wants any investment without returns, right? So you'll have to consider factors like, say, cost, a very particularly revenue, customer satisfaction as around there. And when we do that very particularly, ensure that you have the availability of the data, all right, for each use cases for that matter. And if not, identify what are the potential gaps and how you can very particularly address those strategies in terms of what, say, developing those solutions for that matter. And you build strong data foundation, okay, when it comes to collection of data, because heterogeneity of your data sources, maybe pipelines, data cleaning, governance, and very important is that, of course, you'll have to invest in your team. Okay, exist. You will have to identify what the gaps are. Okay, what is the need for maybe hiring new team, new talent? What is the upscaling that is required, and so on. So very important that we need to talk about is start small. So always initiate a small scale pilot project to test your AI solutions and gain practical experiences for that matter. So focus on your use case with clear benefits, and of course, which is definitely manageable for that matter. And then definitely continuously refine, improve your AI models based on your feedback and performances that you're looking into, and scale successfully for that matter. Very important is that of what the partnership and the alliances that is required, the knowledge sharing that would be required, because you will have to do a lot of collaboration with your AI experts for that matter. So you will have a cross-functional team to work together, okay, to collaborate, to share your knowledge, definitely coming up with the consultants, okay, technocrats as such around the and expedite the development of your solutions for that matter. And finally, you'll also have to go for the ethical consideration that would really help towards what implementation of your AI that is driven towards growth for that matter. So you can really effectively harness the power of AI, okay, when it comes to innovation, efficiency, and of course, a sustained growth. That's what we look at, okay, and then really be benefited on those levels for that matter. And definitely, once you have chosen your initiatives, definitely you will prefer to identify the value drivers, okay, the KPIs for each project. So this is a really a framework that provides a very useful way to think about any investments that includes AI initiatives for that matter. So as you invest in initiatives, it is important to develop, okay, market and financial models to help you balance potential risk and the return for that matter. So you'll have to consider factors such as what, say, total addressable market, okay, NPV, IRR, and so on, so for that matter. Be. So you can work with your stakeholders, okay, ensure the financial models, all right, make sense within the context of the business. And that can really help you secure their buy-in and ensure the support throughout the processes for that matter. So again, these are just some of these strategies and definitions that can be taken into consideration with respect to financial drivers and that of the quality measures that you see here in this case for that matter. And that will really, really help you in terms of identifying whether you are able to capture the returns in terms of the AI investments that you have made as a matter of fact. Okay, so as a leader, as an organization, it's going to be very, very important that you do this. Okay, because as throughout the project life cycle, all right, you will have to put in these systemic processes so that you manage the value, you evaluate the value for that matter. Okay, and you do that in a very strategic in every stage wise, maybe all the way from goal setting all the way to say deploying it, or maybe say on the prediction scenario for that matter. So you will have to evaluate these initiatives, all right, evaluate the results, and then you can determine whether you want to continue, whether you should say adjust your approach for that matter, or maybe if there is a need for a detour that needs to be taken into account for that matter, so that you can continue evaluating the value at major milestones throughout the particular project as such around there. So I believe this will really, really ensure, and right, uh, that way of strategizing adoption of artificial intelligence, all right, understanding the potential values and its capabilities that you can be really be benefited. Okay, so that's what I have in terms of the content that we had, all right, with respect to this short, say, session on this part. Uh, but let's move further ahead, all right, because we have already understood what AI is, what it's the how you can, what are the various offerings of Microsoft, or what's its approach when it comes to AI solutions, and how particularly as a business leader you can be benefited, how you can have your businesses transformed with integration of artificial intelligence, what is the strategy, what are the core pillars, and how particularly say you will be able to evaluate your AI solutions in its implementation as to take in for that matter be. Here are some of the quick next steps that I wanted to really talk about. Okay, maybe say that you might want to consider. and that is same. I would encourage you to get yourselves certified. All right. Of course, skilling is required. Definitely will encourage you to continue learning. But of course, I wanted to bring forward or put forward the immense value of uh, the certifications, definitely. All right. So here in your say, even here is a link, all right, where you can definitely have uh, this particular ebook that can be downloaded, all right, which is again data driven, honestly, right? We spoke about data driven decisions, and this is just to let you know that the kind of immense value, all right, how particularly certifications really bring in for that matter, and the value of certifications and across organizations that has been made available. So feel free to download this ebook, all right, which is the win-win of certifications, how particularly businesses employees have been benefited, where again factually placed, statistically placed with respect to the benefit of the employee and the organization being talked about in this case. So I would recommend you to go identify which certifications really works, all right, so that you can grow your businesses and your career, all right, with respect to Microsoft certifications. So Microsoft offers you with a wide variety of say certifications that are there. There are some role-based certifications that we really want to consider. So there are fundamentals, associate, expert level, specialty, and so on. So again, really be beneficial, all right, so that you can go for an instructor-led classroom training for that matter, where you would be able to get 180 days, that is almost 6 months, guys, all right, of access to your virtual labs, all right, for your, again, if you want to really harness the skills of Microsoft Copilot for that matter. We offer you with respect to say 90 days of recordings, okay, for your instructor-led classes that are available. And of course, maybe if needed, some free repeats in case for that matter be. So really beneficial, right? As you get to interact with some subject matter experts, all right, that lay out these ideas, okay, discusses the content, again correlating with real world use cases as such around there, and to for you to be really benefited with the expertise of these subject matter experts for that matter be. So something that I really want to talk about, and really as an MCT, I would definitely agree on this. Okay, it's a one-time process, guys. Okay, it's an investment definitely. So if you are holding a fundamental certification, definitely you need not have to renew it. But if you hold an associate level or maybe a higher level certification, you have to renew it once in a year at no cost before the time of expiry for that matter. So you are eligible for renewing your certification 6 months prior to that of its expiry for that matter. All right, and being benefited in those levels again to showcase your skills, to stand out among your peers, and definitely stay updated with the current technologies and its best that Microsoft has to offer for that matter. So even if a new version rolls out, you may not have to be bothered about that. You can just say get yourself say without even say paying for that. Okay, in the context of that bandwidth of 1 year of your valid certification, you can have it renewed for that matter. Okay, now let's quickly embrace some Q&A in case if you have any questions or concerns. All right, and let's try to address your questions for that matter. Yeah.
Thank you, Gino. That was most informative. I know everyone is looking forward to the Q&A session, so go ahead and start putting your questions into the questions panel. And while you do that, I would like to give the presentation rights over to Sagnik, our vendor manager, to introduce you to our promotions and webinar related courses.
So as you can see on my screen, this is the event handout that you all have received. Once again, we thank you all for taking out the time and joining our masterclass today. As part of this handout, you'd see the content section wherein the different sections within the document have been listed here, and everything is hyperlinked. So you can quickly use these links to jump to the specific section of the document. Before we proceed, it's worth mentioning that Netcom Learning, we are the proud winners of the Microsoft Partner of the Year award for 2 years in a row. So as we say, the legacy continues. In 2022, we were the Partner of the Year worldwide, and in 2023, we were the Partner of the Year for United States. And we are also a Microsoft Cloud Solutions partner. That means that we have capabilities across all the 6 solution areas recognized by Microsoft. A few more things about us. We are in the training industry for over 25 years now, having serviced over 80% of the Fortune 1000 companies, serviced 100 plus US military bases. Overall, we have trained 1 million plus professionals across 36,000 plus unique enterprises, and we enjoy a 96% recommendation rate from our customers. All our trainings on Microsoft are delivered by instructors that are certified and authorized by Microsoft. And our overall instructor pool stands at about 3,200 plus certified professionals. We are your one-stop solution for all your corporate upskilling needs with official training across every major technology and business solution provider. So as we can see over here, we are an authorized training partner for all the industry leaders across Microsoft, AWS, Cisco, CompTIA, PMI, EC Council, and others. Now, within this handout, you would also find this particular page wherein you can find the session recording. You can use the link to access the recording for today's session and revisit the concepts that were covered in today's masterclass. On this page, you'd find the link to access your complimentary courseware and the digital badges. The same landing page that we covered at the beginning of my presentation. You can find the direct access link here, and the link to which is also available on your chat on GoToWebinar. Also, all the participants will be given access to Netcom 365. It is our student portal that includes a lot of features and resources for you to take advantage of to supercharge your skilling journey. All you need to do if you're accessing it and activating it for the first time is set up your password and then you'd be good to go. We highly recommend everyone to explore our learning portal to take full advantage of all your skilling resources. Now let's quickly take a look at some of the latest offers on Microsoft trainings and certifications. First up, we have the Microsoft Quick Start program, which is applicable across the entire portfolio, encompassing Azure, Security, Microsoft 365, Dynamics 365, and Power Platform. It is truly the best in class exclusive enterprise discount offering on your end-to-end Microsoft training across the official portfolio. The pricing model is quite simple and straightforward. If you have a team, if whether you are a large organization or a small organization, and you have a team to train across departments or within the same department, we have two options for you depending on your team size. If you are looking to train more than 15 learners, you would be getting a flat discounted pricing of $300 per day per learner. And of course, as the number of days for the particular training increases, the amount also increases, but you get significant savings on this. If you are having a smaller team that is 14 learners or less, then you still are entitled to a $400 discounted flat pricing per day per learner. This really accounts to huge savings when it comes to large scale training. So we highly recommend everyone to get in touch with us, explore the offering by clicking on the link provided in this handout. And all your trainings can also be customized based on the specific projects and workloads that you and your team, your organization is working on. And our industry specific subject matter expertise encompasses a wide range of verticals, as you can see over here, from banking and financial services, healthcare, federal and state and local government, to education, energy, manufacturing, retail, consumer goods, and more. Also, you'd find that if you have a team, if you are a big organization or a small organization, having to having a team that you're looking to train, our 2 hour private group training demo is also a great option for you as the next step. It is free of cost, as we say, you can see over here, and it is customizable as per your needs. So rather than a public delivery, which was the format of today's session, you're going to get a private group training wherein our instructor is going to connect with you, understand your specific requirements, and our learning consultants are going to map out your specific needs and accordingly tailor the skilling plan that makes sense for you and your business. So these training demos are provide a great value because these are customizable. All the trainings are delivered by our top rated trainers, and you get a complimentary skilling plan consultation, allowing you to get clarity on which specific courses are needed to be taken by your team. And in case you are a large organization, you are a multi-shore firm with multiple divisions and your workforce spread across geographies, or you have multiple business units within the same organization, the skilling needs kind of get complicated in those scenarios, right? But how do you manage your training funds in that case? That's why we have the Learning Passport, which provides a flexible team training package. Basically, you park all your training funds with us for 12 months. And within these 12 months, you get exceptional value on the funds that you invest, right? Up to 100% increase of your fund value is what you can experience with our Learning Passport. And these funds are flexible. That means you can use it to train irrespective of the individual that you want to opt in for. A simple distinction with the Netcom Plus is that it is mapped to the specific learner and it is only valid for that learner. But in Learning Passport, you get that additional flexibility that for one particular course, you can pick one particular learner, and for another, you can use your same training dollars for another course. This is basically giving you unlimited access to our entire authorized training portfolio of 4,000 plus official courses. So we highly recommend you to check this out if you have such skilling requirements, especially keeping in mind that the end of the year is coming, and we are aware that organizations need to finalize their training budgets. If they don't use it, they kind of lose it. So this is an ideal solution for you guys to park your training funds and make sure you get the ultimate value all year round. Now we will take a look at the recommended courses that we have. Over here, you can see the courses that are related to today's topic have been mapped here, divided by fundamentals and role-based. So we highly recommend everyone to click on these links. All of these are hyperlinked. Pick the item that you want to explore and you'd be redirected to the official documentation that we have on these particular courses. Also, please note that all the courses that are delivered by Netcom Learning are delivered by subject matter experts. You get additional perks like 180 days access to virtual labs wherever applicable. Also, you get access to 90 days to the class recordings to revisit the concepts. You get full access to our Netcom 365 portal, as well as you can repeat the classes free of cost within a specified duration if you want to revisit or you couldn't attend the first time. We also have a couple of free resources mapped here, like our upcoming free event and a blog. We highly recommend you to explore those as well. With that, I'd like to thank everyone. Do follow us on our social handles, and we hope to see you soon once again on one of our events and classes. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks so much for guiding us through that information, Sagnik. And now we're going to go ahead and jump right into our question and answer session. Our first question is, what are the biggest challenges in implementing AI and how can we overcome them?
Okay, see, to be frank, data quality is a big issue that organizations are poised with for that matter, because organizations face this challenge to ensure that the data is clean, the data is accurate and relevant for that matter. So that's a really, really consideration. So that's where all the evaluation starts to be, and then probably then it starts with respect to that of say maybe whether they do have the right talent, maybe the ethical consideration, because that's a really a challenge for that matter in terms of addressing bias, fairness, okay, transparency, and of course the cost that goes into the infrastructure aspects. But to be really starting with, of course, okay, do we have the data that is really accurate, that is clean, and that is more relevant, that can be used in terms of building or implementing AI solutions for that matter. Okay.
Second question in the queue is how can we measure the ROI of AI initiatives?
Okay. So ROI, which stands for return on investments of your AI initiatives. So that's where you'll have to identify your key metrics for that matter. How do we do that? Define relevant metrics, maybe the revenue, the cost savings that you're looking at, the satisfactions. Um, Measure or you start tracking the performances, okay, like KPIs to understand really the impact of your AI for that matter. Or do testing, A and B testing for that matter, whenever you want to compare the performance of your AI powered solutions with that of your traditional ones. And always go for long-term benefits of AI, such as maybe innovation, and of course, staying yourselves on competitive advantage for that matter. So do that, and that will be really, really be beneficial in terms of measuring your ROI of your AI initiatives for that matter. Yes. Next.
And finally, our third question is how do we ensure that AI solutions align with ethical standards and comply with regulations?
See, AI regulations, ethical standards, very, very important aspects that needs to be taken into considerations for that matter. Because there's a growing concern with AI ethics, privacy, data security. Uh, and you really want to understand how particularly say you can implement AI in a responsible manner for that matter. So it is worth noting that, okay, as we develop these solutions around there, right, again, it should map with the end goals for that matter. And that's where if you can very particularly put in the frameworks very specifically, right, to that of the end goals for that matter, what you have in place, identifying certain use cases, of course, proper testing of it for that matter, be again, it changes from demographics to demographics, but definitely you will be able to understand that again on a legal level, on an ethical level, aligning to the frameworks. You'll have solutions that are really align and comply with those regulations for that matter. So you'll have to ensure solutions that are really, really again adapting maybe what works for in North America wouldn't work for EU for that matter. Again, it changes, but definitely understand maybe focus on the customers, focus on the demographics that you're looking into, have a system, have a framework in place, definitely test it thoroughly, all right, check, all right, identify, evaluate what are your pain points for that matter, and evaluate, it's say, evaluate the risks and the challenges associated with that and start mitigating it, and then gradually scale your solutions for that matter. I hope that answered your question.
Once again, I want to remind you that as you leave the session today, you will be presented with a short survey. We would like to request for you to help us by taking a quick moment to participate in that survey. Your feedback really helps us understand your learning experience as we are constantly looking at how we can improve our future sessions. The survey answers are measured on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 representing outstanding and 1 representing poor. We want to thank all of you for joining us today. And if you do come up with any additional questions, feel free to send them to webinar@netcomlearning.com at any time. We hope that you found today's webinar informative, and we look forward to seeing you back here with us soon. Feel free to tell your friends and colleagues about our webinars and other courses. Have a great day, everyone.